It's kind of funny. The popular image we all have of a hacker is usually just some lone wolf in a dark hoodie sitting in a basement guessing passwords. But when you look at the actual landscape today, the digital world is split into two completely different leagues. One is just trying to steal your credit card, right? But the other? The other can literally turn off a country's power grid or influence the outcome of a war.
Welcome to our latest explainer. Today, we're diving deep into this massive, fascinating gap between your everyday cybercriminals and elite nation-state hackers. And more importantly, we're going to unpack exactly why corporate boards are absolutely losing sleep over the latter.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The hacker divide. 2. A war of resources. 3. Targets and tactics. 4. A real-world case looking at Stuxnet. 5. The defense playbook. And 6. The AI battlefield.
All right, let's jump right into part 1, the hacker divide.
So, what actually drives these two groups? There's an incredibly stark contrast in motivation here. General cybercriminals, they operate strictly as ROI-driven businesses. They're just deploying ransomware wherever there's a quick, easy payout. But nation-state actors, backed by actual governments and intelligence agencies, they couldn't care less about a quick financial gain. They are playing a massive geopolitical long game. We are talking about intelligence gathering, economic dominance, and real military leverage. Think about the impact of, say, stealing advanced aerospace blueprints. It allows a rival nation to leapfrog a decade of R&D without spending a single dime.
It's basically the classic difference between a smash-and-grab bank robber and an elite spy. Criminals want a fast invasion and a fast profit before the alarms go off. Nation-states, on the other hand, prefer absolute silence. They specialize in slipping into an organization and laying completely dormant for years. Why? Just to exfiltrate one critical document or piece of intellectual property at the exact perfect time, all without ever raising a single red flag.
Which brings us to Section 2, a war of resources. Look, when we talk about scale here, it's pretty staggering, honestly. A typical cybercriminal gang might just be a scrappy team of 3 to 5 people. But a nation-state, they operate massive data centers with hundreds of specialized engineers. You've got a highly organized bureaucracy of hacking, complete with project managers, malware developers, even native language speakers for highly targeted social engineering. Imagine a corporate security operations center with maybe 10 defenders going head-to-head against a highly coordinated, fully funded army of 500 state-backed professionals. It's fundamentally just not a fair fight.
And because they have this virtually limitless funding, nation-states can actually afford to weaponize zero-days at scale. Now, zero-day is the ultimate cyber weapon, a vulnerability completely unknown to the software vendor. There's no patch, no rule to stop it. While regular hackers rarely have the cash to discover or buy these, nation-states have entire divisions researching them full-time. They treat these zero-days like million-dollar missiles, hoarding them and only deploying them when absolutely necessary so they don't tip their hand. They are literally attacking with methods the industry hasn't even written defense signatures for yet.
Moving on to Section 3, targets and tactics. Criminals generally rely on a shotgun approach. They'll spray attacks at small businesses, e-commerce sites, or individuals, just looking for any weak link to squeeze for cash. Nation-states, though, act like digital snipers. They surgically target the core assets that dictate global power. We're talking power grids, military comms, subsea cables, and highly classified AI and semiconductor IP. They know for a fact that whoever controls the data flow and the supply chain essentially controls the entire modern economy.
And this strategic focus leads to a massive shift in what we call dwell time. Ransomware operators are in and out in days, but nation-states, they will sit quietly in your core systems for 6 months, a year, sometimes up to 5 whole years. They are in absolutely no rush. They're mapping out the network topography, planting deep, redundant backdoors, and just waiting for the exact geopolitical trigger to strike. Honestly, in a lot of cases, the actual exploit happens years before anyone even realizes there's a problem.
Let's ground this in reality with Section 4, Real-World Case, Stuxnet.
Stuxnet was the exact watershed moment where we realized digital code could physically destroy real-world steel. It targeted Iran's nuclear facilities. The malware subtly modified the spinning speeds of physical centrifuges. But here's the crazy part, it simultaneously fed fake normal data back to the monitoring engineers. So the engineers thought everything was fine, while the machines unknowingly tore themselves apart. And considering the facility was entirely air-gapped, meaning it wasn't even connected to the internet, the operational security required to deploy this via physical contractors was just staggering. It was a terrifyingly brilliant proof of concept for kinetic digital warfare.
So, how do you fight this? That's Section 5, the defense playbook.
The harsh truth is, you can't build a firewall high enough to keep an invisible, state-funded army out entirely. 100% prevention? It's impossible. So the entire modern security posture is built on one accepted reality: assume breach. You literally have to operate under the active assumption that highly advanced threat actors are already inside your network right now.
Operating under assume breach means relying on a robust 4-layer architecture. Layer 1 is prevention, your firewalls and EDR filtering out the baseline noise. But when prevention inevitably fails, Layer 2, detection, takes over. This is active threat hunting, proactively searching for anomalies rather than just waiting around for an alert. Then comes response for rapid forensics and immediate network isolation. And finally, recovery, with immutable backups and heavily tested disaster protocols. Winning isn't about keeping them out forever, it's about detecting them and recovering before the real, irreversible damage actually happens.
Finally, let's look at Section 6, the AI battlefield.
What's absolutely fascinating right now is how AI is completely erasing the old barriers to entry, while simultaneously accelerating the arms race. Attackers are using AI to automate their vulnerability research, instantly analyze mountains of stolen data, and launch highly convincing social engineering campaigns at a scale we've never seen. But defensively, AI is a game changer there too. It's enabling autonomous SOCs, systems that can instantly analyze root causes, spot those incredibly subtle behavioral anomalies, and isolate threats at machine speed, literally far faster than a human ever could.
So the reality is, the battlefield is rapidly shifting from human versus human to AI versus AI. Actually, we're looking at a near future where offensive algorithms are continuously adapting to bypass defensive algorithms, countering each other in real time at lightning speed. It's a complete fundamental rewrite of the rules of engagement.
So I want to leave you with this thought. The next time you see a headline about some major enterprise breach, look a little past the surface. Are you just reading about a financial crime gang looking for a quick payday? Or are you catching a fleeting glimpse of an invisible digital war funded by state resources, aimed at shifting global power? The surface story almost never reveals the true battlefield. Thanks for joining us for this explainer. If you want to dive even deeper into these tactics, definitely join us next time as we decode advanced persistent threats. Stay curious and stay secure.